Germany had already won. By 1939, they had everything. Austria, Czechoslovakia, Poland, all taken without a real fight. Britain and France were terrified. America wasn't involved. The Soviet Union had signed a peace deal. Hitler had pulled off the greatest territorial expansion in modern European history in under 2 years, without losing a single major battle. So here's the question. Why didn't he stop? Because stopping wasn't the plan. Hitler never wanted a stable empire. He wanted total domination of Europe, then beyond. And in 1939, nothing had stopped him yet. Every time the world said, "This is too far," he went further. And nothing happened. Austria? Nothing. Czechoslovakia? Nothing. Poland. Britain and France declared war, but did almost nothing for 8 months. To Hitler, that wasn't a warning. That was proof. So he kept going. Here's where it gets interesting. In May 1940, Germany invaded France. And they didn't just win. They embarrassed them. 6 weeks. The same France that held Germany off for 4 years in World War I collapsed in 6 weeks. The British army got pushed all the way to the beach at Dunkirk. 300,000 soldiers trapped. Nowhere to go. Germany had them. And then, Hitler stopped the tanks. He actually ordered his panzer divisions to halt. For 3 days. While the British escaped by boat. 300,000 soldiers, who would come back and fight him for the next 5 years, walked away because he let them. Nobody fully agrees on why. Maybe he thought Britain would negotiate. Maybe he trusted his air force too much. Maybe he just miscalculated. But that decision, right there, was the first crack. So why didn't Britain just give up? That was Hitler's assumption. Knock out France, and Britain folds. It made sense on paper. Britain was alone. Their army had just fled a beach in fishing boats. Their new prime minister had been in the job for 3 weeks. That prime minister was Winston Churchill, and Churchill had exactly zero interest in negotiating. So Hitler did what made sense to him. Bomb them into surrender. For 57 consecutive nights, the Luftwaffe bombed London. Thousands of civilians killed, entire city blocks destroyed. The most sustained bombing campaign in history up to that point. Britain didn't surrender. In fact, public support for the war went up. The bombing that was supposed to break British morale unified it instead. By the end of 1940, Germany had failed to knock out Britain. For the first time, Hitler had a problem he couldn't solve. So what did he do? He opened another front. In June 1941, while still fighting Britain, Germany invaded the Soviet Union. The largest land invasion in human history. 3 million troops, across a 2,900-kilometer front. This is the moment most historians point to and say, that's where Germany lost the war. And they're right. But here's what makes it a true blunder. Hitler knew the risks. His own generals warned him. They had maps. They had history books. They knew what happened to Napoleon when he tried the same thing. He did it anyway. Here's why he thought it would work. Germany had beaten everyone else in weeks. Poland in 5 weeks, France in 6 weeks. Why would Russia be different? His intelligence told him the Soviet military was weak, disorganized. Stalin had spent the late 1930s executing his own generals. The Red Army was a mess. And for the first few months, it looked like Hitler was right. Germany advanced faster than almost any army in history. Captured 2 million Soviet soldiers in the first month alone. By October 1941, they could see the spires of Moscow. They were that close. And then it started snowing. The German army had no winter equipment, no proper coats, no winter boots, no antifreeze for their tanks and trucks, because Hitler had planned for a summer war. A quick war. 6 weeks. Like France, Russia didn't cooperate. The temperature dropped to -30. Engines stopped working, soldiers got frostbite, supply lines collapsed under the snow. The Soviet Union, which was supposed to fall in weeks, was still fighting. Still producing tanks, still moving troops. And now they were fighting in conditions Germany was completely unprepared for. Back in Berlin, something had changed. Germany was now at war with Britain, the Soviet Union, and after December 1941, the United States as well. Three of the largest military powers on Earth, simultaneously. This wasn't a blunder anymore. This was a catastrophe. The country that had conquered Europe in 2 years was now fighting everyone, everywhere, at once, with no realistic way to win against all three. So what actually went wrong? It wasn't one decision. It was a pattern. Every time Germany won, Hitler assumed the next victory would be just as easy. Every time the enemy didn't fight back the way he expected, he ignored it and pushed further. Dunkirk should have told him Britain wouldn't negotiate. He ignored it. The winter of 1941 should have told him Russia wouldn't collapse. He ignored it. Every warning sign got explained away. Every setback got blamed on someone else. His generals. The weather. Bad luck? The truth was simpler. Germany won fast in 1939 and 1940 because they caught everyone off guard. New tactics. New speed. Nobody was ready. By 1941, people were ready, and Germany was already overextended, overstretched, and running out of room to maneuver. The empire that looked unstoppable in 1939 was losing on three fronts by 1943. Not because Germany ran out of soldiers or weapons, but because one man confused a winning streak with being unbeatable. Those are very different things. Germany had already won. They just didn't know when to stop. Nobody told them to keep going. Nobody pressured them into it. They chose it. Every single time. Too greedy.